And hello everyone! We have a fresh and first collection of news this year. During the January holidays, a lot of interesting things happen in the world of gymnastics, both good and bad. So in this video I'll tell you about Ekaterina Selezneva and her young man, who will soon become not only her boyfriend, about the burned down house of the Olympic champion, about the planned tournaments for this year, about the scandal with bullying of athletes in Spain, as well as about the first gymnast caught who sent edited performances to the online competitions. In general, as you understand, the release will be mega saturated. And before starting the video, do not forget to subscribe to the channel. Check your subscription if you forgot to click on the red button. And I'll start the video with last year's news, but which did not have time to get into the last video. This is information about the end of the career of Karina Kuznetsova, what she reported on her Instagram. And it must be said that at the end of the year, everyone was shocked by such a Soldatova recognition of her completion, and no one paid attention to Karina, although she is no less a cool gymnast. Karina's coach was Elena Lvovna Karpushenko, coach of Yana Kudryavtseva. Karina is the absolute champion of Moscow in 2020. She also won various medals at international tournaments, national championship, and other Russian tournaments. In 2015, Karina began to have health problems. She was diagnosed with a fatigue fracture after injuries. She nevertheless recovered, and during her career, she even managed to bring gold medals in the World Cups. On her Instagram, Karina thanked everyone who helped her and wrote that a new stage of her life awaits her. Meanwhile, the FIG calendar has been updated with this year's tournaments. The year is expected to be busy if the coronavirus does not make its own adjustments again, but there are plans for the beginning of the year. So in April there will be 2 World Cups in Sofia and Tashkent, which will qualify for the Olympics. The same cup will be held in early May in Baku. Closer to show jumping in May, the Challenge Cup will take place in Portimao and the World Cup in Pesaro, which will also become one of the qualifications for the Tokyo Olympics. At the beginning of June, the European Championship will take place in Varda, and at the end of the next Challenge Cup in Cluj-Napoca, Romania. In July, the last Challenge Cups will be held in Minsk and Moscow, and from 6th to 8th of August we will have the Olympics in Tokyo. At the end of October, the World Championship, which will also be held in Japan. There are also no dates for the Continental Championship besides Europe, and many international tournaments have not yet planned the dates of their competitions. I think they will appear a little later when it becomes clear what is happening in the world with the coronavirus. At the moment, everything is not very good, and according to rumors, many countries want to close their borders after New Year and Christmas holidays. The news that shocked me is the burned down apartment of the Olympic champion Daria Shkoryukhina. Dasha became the champion of the 2008 Olympic Games in Beijing in the group exercise. She also won medals at the World and European Championships. On her Instagram for Christmas, she talked about the fire in her apartment. The house was not completely burned down, but all things were covered with soot, savings and equipment, and many other important things were burned out. It all happened on Christmas night. The cause of the fire has not yet been established. Dasha suggested that the culprit was the candle, which in her opinion stood at a safe distance, or faulty in wiring. In any case, there is no information yet. At that moment, Dasha was at home in another room, but she did not feel the smoke due to the recently transferred coronavirus. Dasha reacted only at the moment when smoke started to spread around the apartment. The firefighters arrived quickly, so no one had time to get hurt, including her pets, a cat and a chinchilla. The apartment in which Dasha lived in Nizhny Novgorod was presented to her for winning the Olympics by the government. Well, some good news to bring the temperature down. Ekaterina Selezneva published in her Instagram a photo with a hand and a ring and the sign yes. I think it's not difficult to guess what this means. Sergei Gladun, with whom they have been together for a long time, proposed to her, and Katya agreed. I'm incredibly happy about this event, since I have been following the guys for a long time, and they always look very cute and beautiful together. Well, about her sports career, I think this is the first question that arose after I wanted to congratulate the guys. My assumptions are that they will get married only after the Olympics, but not earlier, because knowing our sport, anything can happen. And Katya is now fighting for places in the Olympics. Write in the comments what do you think, whether this will be a reason to end her career as soon as possible, or is it just Sergei's act to which he showed that he will always be with her. It even sounds cute. I'm personally confident in the second option. Varvara Filov is a Greek gymnast who has already retired, but is now actively involved in mastery classes and training. In her Instagram, Varvara told about a case that she encountered at online competitions. One of the athletes, whose name was not named, sent an edited performance to clean up the mistakes. But Vara expressed her dissatisfaction that such things teach the athlete to lie and deprive the meaning of the competition. Write in the comments what do you think about this situation when gymnasts sent an edited video to show the exercise cleaner that they performed it. I was amazed that this happened and not a major competition. For the coach, it was first of all important to show what kind of child she had, although she could not train her so that the athlete could perform the run cleanly. In general, a really strange situation. It is not clear why the coach shows the children that this can be done. Well, to the scandal in Spain, which began literally in the last days of the year. Gymnast Claudia James, a former member of the Spanish national team, and Carla Vigilantes complained of insults from the coach. According to the athletes, the girls were called names, insulted, in addition to constantly mentioning problems with weight. They were called useless and threatened to be kicked out of the national team. The girls also said in their statements that the head coach of the national team, Alejandra Quereda, was aware of what was happening, but never interceded and did not help the gymnast. Claudia says that for everyone this situation seems normal and everyone is used to insult and thinks that it's necessary to achieve high results, since in a light sport it cannot be otherwise. But Claudia believes that it's a light sport, they should demand but not humiliate or insult. Respect should be for athletes. According to Claudia, no one talks about this problem because they believe that only through humiliation they can achieve the heights of success. Claudia said that when you are inside the system, you will never say such a thing because you will know that you will be kicked out for it. But all this greatly affects the athletes and their psychological state. In general, now in Spain, the topic of violence against athletes has been raised. There are no precedents with assaults here yet, but perhaps this is only the beginning, and these two girls are only the first gymnasts who started a movement about such statements in their country. The technical committee of the club where the girls trained denied the accusation of insult and psychological abuse on the part of the coach and are now demanding a public apology and the removal of all the videos from social networks. It is surprising that the federation asked for this from the experience of previous countries, where similar conflicts flared up and where the public was involved and a large number of coaches were forced to leave their posts. We have already discussed the issue more than once, and I think the opinion is still divided into two camps. Those who believe that gymnasts want too much and should be scolded, because otherwise the results cannot be achieved, and the athletes have become simply spoiled. And the second camp, which thinks that all coaches should be transplanted and raise champions only on love and affection. But as always, I believe there is no black and white, and I think that name-calling, humiliation and everything else should not be present if it hurts the athletes. And for some gymnasts, this is a necessary measure, but I believe that you can become good athletes and remain with a good psyche and not suffer from an eating disorder or psychological haunted emotion. Sport is health, but at the same time you have to overcome yourself. I'm waiting for your opinion on this issue in the comments. This is a very painful topic for Russia, especially because I'm sure the same thing is happening in our schools. But nobody will talk about it, because everyone is intimidated. Well, we shouldn't forget about European spoiled children either. In fact, without knowing the whole situation, we cannot know what actually happened. I admit about the option, but in the end, I still want everyone to be fine. Well, that's it for today. I will see you very soon. Remember that I love you all, and for now, goodbye. The video was translated and dubbed by Alexandra Sinica.